All the fighty bitey. Wow. Let us get started. Give a dog a bad name. So, quick recap from last game, even though that was a week ago. We fought Big Gorilla Man under the sewers. In this room. It was a pain in the butthole. But we did it and we won. And that is what matters, John.
At least one skull escaped Fergal's wrath.
At least one skull escaped Fergal's wrath. We are exploring. You wanna know what I kinda wanna play again? Vampire the Masquerade. And of course, anytime I talk about the Masquerade, I think of the song Masquerade from Phantom of the Opera. But that's just me. Are you saying yes to the Phantom of the Opera comment, or yes to the, I should play Bloodlines?
How could he have made it this far? There's blood everywhere.
Safe we are, still. Drink now.
Bless you, Bridget.
This isn't the blood of a vampire, but it will quench your thirst.
The sewer skulls.
This is our domain, not yours. You've been warned.
Wait, I saved you from this creature. That must count for something.
Thank you. Now go. Go back to the streets and houses. There is no love lost between us, vampire. But thank you.
Sean Hampton sent me here. I believe he wanted me to find you. Who are you?
If you must know, they call me Old Bridget. And this shelter is where we live.
I'm Jonathan Reed. I'm a newborn Egon. I'm afraid I'm not sure what's going on.
I shall not bend a knee, young Ekon. But I sense your pain. Ask, and I will afford you my attention.
Why was that creature after you?
Fergal is the blunt instrument of the Ascalon Club. His masters would see us dead or turned into slaves if they had their way.
You know what I just realized?
What the hell was that thing?
Today's
He
Tuesday.
wasn't an Ekon or a
Today's
Scout.
supposed to be a 7 o'clock stream.
They are known as
Whoops.
Volkod, an ancient offshoot of immortals. Blood drives them, enrages them.
I didn't even think about that. I just kind of wanted to stream, to be honest.
What of this Ascalon Club?
Vampire society's elite in the Empire. They make the rules and enforce their judgment upon us whom they see as lessers.
Yeah. I do feel bad, though.
So is it you that Sean Hampton sent me to find?
Perhaps. The sad saint was always kind to us. He must trust you if he revealed our location.
Sean is a Skull. All those I've encountered have been violent, crazed creatures. How can he be any different?
Maybe because he is the sad saint. Or perhaps because I am old Bridget of the Sewer Skulls.
Sean killed a patient of mine. And that's just one of the murders he's being hunted for.
If you refer to Harriet, she is now among us and under our protection.
Harriet Jones is alive. That's it. That's the proof Sean wanted me to find. I must talk to her.
No. Harriet is not alive. But you can speak to her. I must warn you. She is fragile and may not receive you warmly.
I don't understand.
She is filled with bile and hate. Her mind is sharp as a tack, but her body is so weak. I've never seen its like before. She is resting in a room on the far right of this hideout.
Thank you. I will bear that in mind.
So not all the scows are crazy.
Eternal gratitude for your protection, Master.
I think a lot of it is, you know, because you saw how crazy Jonathan went when he first turned. It might have to deal with, you know...
Old Bridget says you are one to trust.
It all depends on how, you know, you're received and how you handle everything, maybe.
Keep your distance, Echo!
Ascalon has stalked us for ages upon ages.
I am the most intrigued. Let's see.
How is London? I've not seen beyond these walls in such a long time.
In such a long time. Ugh. A common mace. Let's see if we can't craft anything. Perfect, actually. Let's try to get 2 of everything if we can. Ah, just short. I don't think we can upgrade this, can we? No, we don't have any good handle parts. Yeah, we need good handle parts and tiny handle parts, of which we have none. But that's okay. So there's one achievement in this game that I would have to actually play this game completely differently in order to get.
Your spare little days, eh?
And that's to collect every single weapon.
Ascalon has stalked us. We're at your mercy. Will you end?
And the only way to get all of them is to actually kill some of the NPCs
Eternal
that we've been
gratitude for your
saving.
protection, Master.
Because they hold unique weapons. Some of them do, I should say.
We're at your mercy. Will you end us? The vampire hunters will never find us here.
Well, never mind. Right. Alright, let's talk to old Harriet.
Ascalon has stalked us for ages upon ages.
Supremacy of the Echoes. Is that here? That is. Meh.
Hello, Harriet. Do you recognize me?
Yes, you were from the Pembroke Hospital. The young doctor. So full of secrets.
I've so many questions I need to ask you, Harriet. If you would.
I love questions. As for the answers, you may not like them.
How do you feel?
I can't see. I can't move. My body's burning.
Burning!
As if I'm dying over and over again.
Have you tried to eat or drink something?
People here tried to feed me, but I'm just not hungry. I don't have the strength.
Does the pain ever stop?
It is not pain I feel. It's like I can't stop feeling every inch of my body. But at the same time, each muscle and bone is the wrong place.
Oh, that's gotta be painful.
Your room, the blood. What brought you to fake your death in such a gruesome fashion?
To see if I would be mourned.
Why flee with Sean Hampton?
Oh, it's always a pleasure to see a saint fall to sin. But the coward still won't kill.
Do you take
coward!
pleasure in causing so much pain and sorrow?
Nobody gave a damn about me. Not a tear shed. Poor Harriet. Always the discarded.
Why did you come here?
And why not? This is where I live now. Leave me be.
Leave me be.
Will you respect old Bridget's wishes? Will you obey her?
Bridget is kind. She only needs to keep me fed and I'll be good.
And I'll be good.
So you desire to stay here?
Yes, I'm with my own kind. Birds of a feather, so to speak. Poor Harriet. Always alone.
Poor Harriet.
I have a question of the utmost importance to ask. Will you answer?
Questions, questions, questions. The good doctor, always searching for answers.
Do you remember what you did after leaving the hospital? Did you kill anyone?
First, a question from me. You answer first.
Very well then. What do you want to know?
Are you like me? Are you also dead?
We are not dead, Harriet. Death no longer pertains to us. We are different.
I like what I am. I truly do. I relish the pain that courses through me.
Relish the
The
pain.
hospital with Sean Hampton. Did you or Sean kill anyone in your flight? Anyone? Try and remember.
I will not lie. I wanted blood, and I wanted revenge, and Sean pulled me from it, brought me here instead. But the shadows heard my prayers. The shadows killed that bastard.
You sought vengeance by your own hand, and someone else obliged you. Very convenient. Don't lie to me.
I don't lie. I saw him near the docks, and rightly I wished him dead. And I am happy he is. It's true. But I didn't kill him. I was too tired.
I was
Who
too
was that
tired.
man? The one murdered in the street.
He used to be my landlord. I lived here for many years before falling ill. Oh, he was an awful man. Disgusting and cruel. So cruel.
Shadows. Tell me what you saw.
The shadows, they heard me and answered. Something in the deep darkness. Quick, deadly. It asked me if I wanted revenge. I answered, yes.
And these shadows, this presence, do you still hear it? Was it a vampire? Did Sean see it?
It spoke only to me. And now it is silent. born of hatred. And it will kill again. And it hates you, Doctor. Oh, it hates you.
What makes you say that?
It whispered your name, Dr. Reed. It wanted to know who you were and where you went.
Questions about me? What did you say?
Nothing, Doctor. I said nothing. There was nothing it didn't already know. Oh, I'm tired now. Let me rest.
Let me rest. Hi, Bridget.
Have you found the answers you were looking for, young Ekon?
There is too much left unanswered. So many questions.
Get to know us. Spend time with us. And I may be willing to answer more questions.
Why do you live here? Amongst the filth and vermin?
Live. Here we hide.
What are you hiding from?
From the guilt, the shame, from the hunters and the light. And of course, our past.
Bridget has an interesting
Why
story.
don't you leave the city? Hide somewhere far from the guard of Priwen. The Ascalon Club.
We are the Sewer Skulls. This is our domain. We have run as far as we can, and now we hide.
Your diction, your words. You do not carry yourself like most Skulls I've encountered.
True. I'm not like most Skulls.
You were once someone else. What happened to you?
It is as sad as it is long, young Ekon, but it will remain mine.
Can I be of service to you?
We ask but one thing. Reveal to no one our secrets. Do not betray us.
Do not betray us.
For how long have you been in hiding here?
Skulls have been hiding under London since vampires first entered the city.
Where did you hide before the sewers?
We claimed ancient tunnels, forgotten caverns, catacombs. We are skulls, groveling beneath the feet of our makers.
I love the whole idea that, you know, usually in a lot of vampire games, like, even in Masquerade the Bloodlines, like, there were different tiers of vampires, you know, high society, mid society, low society, but, like, this one even took it a step farther. You know, there's the high society where, you know, the best of the best vampires are, which is the Ascalon Club. Then there's the vampires who are just scraping by, not really dealing with anything else. And then there's the Skulls, well, we learn more about Skulls, but they're like the bottom feeders. They're the detested, the hated, and they have to hide or die.
What manner of creature is Harriet? She is different from everyone else.
I really don't know. I'm not even certain she is a skull. I've no idea as to what blood made her.
What is a skull, in fact, in your honest opinion?
The progeny of a vampire, disavowed by her maker. Perhaps a fruitless branch of a noble tree.
It is. It's very
A
cool.
word used to enslave us. I cannot say.
You mentioned that vampire blood has tremendous potency. You believe it to be stronger than your own?
The vampire's sweet blood. That rich, dark wine that we crave. For it made us, and it can.
And that's exactly how it honestly
I thank
should
you
be.
for your time, madam. I must go back to Hampton now.
It
Your
should mirror
kindness
it.
has been ample payment, Ekon. To protect us, I'll close the access to our hideout, but you can use our shortcut to reach Mr. Hampton's shelter. Just follow the arrows.
Thank you, old Bridget. I hope we'll meet again.
Oh, Bridget.
Are you all right, sir? What are you doing here?
I could ask you the same question. Don't you know this is a quarantine zone?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm investigating the epidemic. You had better get to a safe place while you still can.
Oh, really? Well, go investigate somewhere else and leave me be.
I beg your pardon.
I said go. Leave me alone, sir.
Rodney, you're the man who killed that gang member, are you not? Is that why you are hiding in this godforsaken place?
Yes, I did. I did not even know his name.
Then why did you kill him?
That arsehole always mocked me for the color of my skin. Usually I let it go. But not that night. We fought. He died.
Unfortunately, I have met several murderers during my lifetime. You don't look like them. I can tell you're no cold-blooded killer.
You're right, sir. At first it was just a simple argument between us. But the man had a bad fall.
Believe me, Rodney, you won't survive here long. No matter what you did, you must go back to where you used to live.
I'll go back to the docks then. But if I die, remember that the blood of Rodney Grader will be on your hands.
Rodney Grader. In the blood of Rodney Grader. I don't think I found Rodney in my first playthrough. Maybe I did. I don't remember. To be honest. I love how he's living so close to the skulls and yet he hasn't noticed them. Or they haven't noticed him. You know, both. Shiny? Shiny! Yes!
Old Bridget says you are one to trust.
Oh, Bridget! He says you're the one to trust. Yeah, excuse me, pardon me. Excuse me, coming through. Pardon me.
It's locked.
It's locked, alright.
I cannot enter. It's locked, all right.
Welcome back, Dr. Reed. Would you like to take communion with me now?
Sean, are you eating raw flesh?
It is the sacred flesh of the mortal lamb. Our Lord's bountiful transmutation for the sustenance of his believers. Thank you, Lord. I am your most humble servant.
So,
This foghorn is unnecessary.
you waited for my return.
I told you, Dr. Reed, I was a man to be trusted. Did you have words with the poor Harriet?
You make no distinction between the living and the scars, do you?
We are God's children, Dr. Reed. One and all. And he's determined to save us.
What will be the result if you continue to assist both Skulls and the living?
For the last decade, that's what's been happening. And they found a better life. What's to change?
You're forgetting the epidemic. Things can go south very quickly. I've seen it.
Oh, these are terrible times. Only those pure of heart shall prevail.
Pure of heart shall prevail.
You've turned Scal now. Don't you see the danger to anyone giving you their trust?
We are all sinners, awaiting salvation. This is a simple truth, ordained by the Lord Almighty. I am a seeker of his glorious light.
They're like cat's eyes.
Does this place belong to you? How can you be so certain you can keep it open?
This warehouse was once property of the Dawson family, but has been bequeathed me through a donation.
The Dawsons? The wealthiest family in London? Have they a clue as to what goes on here?
Not at all. The donation was made before the war. The building was run down. I never met Aloysius Dawson myself.
So you have the run of the place and no one's taken notice?
As long as we keep to ourselves, we interest no one. This is a haven, and I pray it remains so for eons to come.
Harriet, Miss Jones has been behaving in a most violent manner. She's going to need special attention.
That's precisely the reason I brought her here. To meet old Bridget. She's the guide Harriet requires.
Who is this old Bridget?
I don't know, Doctor. She rarely speaks of her past, but I know she has a long one.
I
She's
know
likely
she
the
has a
oldest soul
long
in the
one.
city.
Harriet is possessed by her hatred. You cannot let her roam free. She's dangerous.
She has joined her own kind, Doctor. Old Bridget is a saint to the younger Scals, guiding them to salvation and peaceful existence.
I believe I've learned all I need to know. I'm certain you've killed no one, but one day I believe you'll cross the line.
Logic is a false prophet. Faith is the only path to salvation.
What do you mean?
We have been blessed with God's eternity. We are the instruments of his divine will.
His
We
divine
shall
will.
feed the hungry forever and ever. Amen.
I will strive to emulate your merciful nature, Sean, but it's a difficult pledge to make.
Give yourself over to God, Doctor. Expel your urges and kneel before the Lord in praise.
These urges. You know the hunger will never be satisfied.
I've come to embrace the everlasting craving. I have sworn to feed only upon the flesh of the dead. It is now my sacrament. Take, eat. This is my body. So saith the Lord.
John.
My discoveries. Vampire blood would enhance your metabolism, perhaps even heal you. If what old Bridget says is true, I'll give you some of mine.
I'd rather not. It would be extremely awkward.
You have no choice, Sean. It's the only way to protect your Cheptel. Those
Cheptel.
still amongst the living.
No, Dr. Reed. God made me this way. Who am I to disobey his will?
You believe that God's plan was for you to be abandoned at birth.
The Lord works in mysterious ways.
I can't imagine God intended for you to be molested by a priest in an orphanage. Drink, friend.
No.
I said kneel and drink. Now.
We have saved Sean Hampton. Will soon suffer the consequences of your actions. They made that so dramatic. Kneel and drink.
Another corpse thrown in the streets. Someone's playing a very sick game. I know this brooch. This is my mother's. A birthday gift from father. "29 Pretty Orchard Street. That's near Poplar's district. Why would this man carry off my mother's brooch? I must go there.
I must go there.
Glad to see you again, Mr. Reed.
Did you see what happened?
No. I was coming back to the shelter from work when I heard an awful scream, and there was this man, dead, just in front of the building.
You saw nothing at all?
No, I told you, just that awful woman's scream.
A woman's scream? Are you sure?
Of course. It was terrifying. I thought it was my sister, so I ran. But it was a man I've never seen round here before.
Goodbye, Miss...
Glad to see you again, Mr. Reed.
No, I was talking
Goodbye,
to your
Miss
sister.
You again? What do you want?
Did you see what just happened?
No, I didn't. And I don't care.
Really? Why is that?
Because this sexist pig is one of the 4 men who blacklisted me. Good riddance, if you ask me.
Good riddance.
Well, I'll leave you for
It's our good friend Giselle.
Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
She enjoys men dying in front of her.
Good evening, Mr. Throgmorton.
Dr. Reed, can
Ah,
I be of any
Mr.
assistance?
Crane.
Have you noticed anything suspicious lately?
That dead body right behind me is one
Did you
thing.
see what happened to him?
Actually, yes. He was thrown from the roof like a vulgar log.
Like a vulgar log.
Why is it that you sound so... afraid?
You didn't see it. He was dead before he hit the ground. The strength required to do such a thing, well, it beggars belief.
It beggars belief.
Who could have done that?
Who? Well, a vampire, of course. Look, bite marks on the neck and lacerations here. There is definitely a vampire close by.
There is definitely a vampire
And good
close
hunting,
by.
Mr. Throgmorton.
Okay, can't do yours. Now we have to go track her down, but this is gonna have us go somewhere else, actually, isn't it? This needs to go away. New dialogue with both of them. It's actually going to take us back over here. So if we're going to go back there. Unknown event happened. Yeah. Hum nom 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 nom.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Hold on.
I have this thirst for blood.
I love his bitey sounds sometimes. He's just like, yeah, I'm not dealing with that.
Last warning!
I want to get out of here without fighting. Probably shouldn't have done that, but whatever.
Burn it, boys!
Nailed it. We made it to the docks. Docks we made it to. Doopa 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 doo. Alright, we've done everything with them.
Things straight, these parts would be running completely amok.
Moron had me laughing at first.
That's not the way we want to go. Is it this
It's
one?
locked.
A cover letter. What's this, Mr. Booth Digsby? Did you do something else unfaithful?
You again. What do you want?
I know you're looking for an honest job, Booth. You're tired of this criminal life, aren't you?
It's just an idea. Edwina loves to run things so much. You can never really leave the gang. Wet boys for life, you know.
Goodbye, Mr. Dick.
We can eat him now and gain so much experience. 4,000.
It's locked, all right.
Son of a bitch. Ugh. The pain of not remembering where to go. Or at least how to wander around, I think. That's okay. We'll be fine, we'll be fine, we'll be fine. Okay, where do we need to go? That way. There we go. Are you fucking kidding me, bruh? Alright. You go do your thing. Alright, we killed 3. 1, 2, 3.
It's an each! Kill it! It's one of them! Yeah! It's mine! I'll take it! Die, baby! Steady, boys! We've got one of them.
I just don't feel like fighting them.
We'll crush this beast.
I'll fight this guy because he came far enough away. And he's now by himself.
Stay back, beast! Filthy murdering bastard! The power of the Lord commands you!
There we go.
Stop, Vampyr!
Jesus. Darn, I was really hoping that guy would have something.
Good evening.
Good evening, Doctor. Still
Good evening, Doctor.
I'd like to...
wise choice.
If only there were more of us, with less resignation and more determination.
It is good to see you again, Jonathan. How are you?
I'm better than one might expect, Lady Ashbury. Dr. Swansea has asked me to investigate the recent disturbances in the hospital, caused by skulls.
Really? What do you mean?
I discovered the most intriguing skull. An elderly woman answering to the name of Old Bridget, and a man who helps them remain hidden in London.
Old Bridget? Peculiar name, I've never heard of her.
According to Old Bridget, skulls can lead a peaceful existence like us. They are even able to nourish themselves by feeding on corpses and the flesh of the dead.
How vile. Please, Jonathan, let's change the subject.
How vile.
Skulls of London have gone into hiding. both mortals and immortals plot their extermination.
Yes. Skulls are the orphans of the Vampire Society. They are the shame of their genitors. A disgrace to the vampire that created them.
That's kind of a low opinion on them.
There is something ominous closing around me, Lady Ashbury. Something spies upon me from the shadows. Something cruel and wicked.
Whatever do you mean, Jonathan?
If Sean Hampton and Harriet were not the guilty parties, then who? I saw the bodies and the blood.
Your rebirth has not gone unnoticed, Jonathan. Be extremely careful. If you get in the way of an immortal's plans...
Do you suspect someone?
I don't know, Jonathan. I steer clear of vampire politics, especially whilst hunters roam the city's streets.
Goodbye for now, my lady.
Jonathan, at last. I've been worried sick. Have you solved the case of our poor Sean Hampton?
Don't worry, Edgar. The reputation of Pembroke Hospital is secure. Sean Hampton was not the guilty party.
Is that true? Oh, good news. Good news indeed.
What do you know of the Ascalon Club?
Not as much as I would like. There have always been rumors about a secret society of vampires operating in the interests of the British Empire, though I've never met a member.
I crossed paths with one, a terrifying creature going by the name of Fergal. He was sent by the Ascalon Club to exterminate the Skulls of the East End.
By the stole, Jonathan. If vampires are eliminating their own progeny, then dark times are upon us. Darker than I've ever witnessed.
I've never had this conversation with them either, so this is new for me.
Do you think Lady Ashbury would know of them?
Jonathan, our beloved lady is not one for social dalliances, nor the assemblies of dark orders. She's a woman of superior taste and selective acquaintance.
Selective acquaintance.
I found Harriet Jones. She's much the same old, embittered woman she was, only she's been made a Skull. Her transformation did not go well.
Incredible. Why not bring her here? We could learn so much by studying her condition. It would be fascinating.
I doubt that. She can barely move. Perhaps we could learn more about the degeneration of Skulls.
Perhaps. But she could also belong to a new species. We know so little of the laws that dictate...
Do we like Edgar Swansea?
Were there any studies made by your order on the subject?
Not that I'm aware of. I will transmit your discovery to the Brotherhood's primate. He will be delighted.
Does the name Old Bridget ring any bells?
Why?
I've never heard of her. Why? A patient of ours? I must confess, I don't know them all.
No, it's just someone I recently met. A fascinating woman. I had thought that perhaps...
By the stole, Jonathan, you've met another vampire. I would appreciate an introduction, if that's the case.
I would love to meet your vampire friends, Jonathan.
A pleasure, as always, Edgar.
They're not all sneaky salmons. Shiny. Shiny. Closed, shiny.
It's locked. It's locked, all right. It's locked.
All right. Excuse me. Actually, that would be a lot faster. Turn around. Brr. Excuse me. Ow, that one hurt my back. Don't you hate it when you sneeze and you just hurt yourself? Or is that just me?
Good evening. Please show, of course.
Am I the only one with that magic ability to sneeze and hurt themselves? I have 0 core strength, so every sneeze literally rocks my body hard. See, she died rocking. She had her hands up, raised to the roof, bring the potty down.
Did you hear me? Over there! There's one of them vermin!
If we're sneaky salmons, we can just pop up there.
Best stay back, sir!
Come on.
Don't come no closer!
Damn it.
It's a little...
I don't think those were the right words, but yes, it was the right spirit.
It's locked.
It's locked. That man got it. We get noms all up in here. Who needs a midnight snack when you can have a midnight scowl-lack?
Are you all right, Miss Shun?
My name is Xiao Shun. This is the proper way
Xiao
to
Shun.
address someone in my country.
I do apologize, Xiao Shun. Are you all right?
Yes, I am. This is the only place where I can find some kind of serenity. Some way to remember my dear Matthew.
Have you recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I heard that she used to help the refugees, but unfortunately you don't see her around anymore.
Tell me how your husband died, Xiao Shun.
Matthew died of the Spanish flu, like so many others. It's a mundane cause of death these days, but for me it meant the end of the world.
At this time, there is so little medical science can do to defeat this terrible epidemic. I'm truly sorry.
The worst thing is not his death, even if it tears me apart. The worst is not to have seen it coming, to have lost him so quickly, even before realizing it.
Did he hide his condition from you?
Matthew was a smiling type, a happy sort. Everything that I am not. Did he laugh at his death to come, or did he not realize what was going to happen? I'll never know.
The Spanish flu may be the worst disease mankind has ever faced. Why are you blaming yourself?
You don't understand. I didn't know he was so sick. I didn't realize the gravity of his situation until it was too late.
As harsh as this sounds, we are all equally vulnerable to this awful
She has a very white flowery hat.
Take
it's
the
very
strongest man
flowery.
in just a couple of days.
I never said goodbye to Matthew. We never realized how bad it was. We laughed about it even. He always made me laugh. Now I don't have enough tears to
Flowers
shed.
out of 10, exactly.
Are you on your own? Do you have any friends or family who you could be with?
I have family and friends, but I need to be here alone. One day maybe I'll go back to them, but not now. I need silence, and I need sadness.
And I need sadness.
You should not be by yourself. Grief can be a terrible trial, and it's even worse when you're alone.
Thank you for your sincere words, Dr. Reed. I sense you trying to help me, even if I don't quite understand why.
Even if I don't understand why you're trying to help me. Was that a cat or a bird?
You stay here forever, don't you? Eventually, you'll have to leave the cemetery.
Why? Why should I go? Since this is the only place I can find peace of mind.
To be honest, I don't know. Please forgive me if I've upset you. We must all honor our departed loved ones in our own way.
You sound like you're no stranger to the pain I feel.
Let's just say, I too have a good reason to visit cemeteries at night.
Please accept my condolences for your loss then, Dr. Reed.
Are you a doctor yourself? Is this why you feel so guilty for not saving your sick husband?
No, I am not. But I still need to blame someone for Matthew's death. And who else, if not his wife, who did not see it coming?
I'm a physician, one of the best in the country. But I was unable to save my own sister, Mary. She died in my arms.
Why tell me this? Is it supposed to make me feel better?
No. But I felt I should share it with you, since she is buried here too.
May I ask what caused the death of your sister?
You could say she was also killed by a terrible disease. A disease I have sworn to fight and cure, no matter how long it takes.
Thank you for sharing that with me, Dr. Reed. Maybe it's time we start to rebuild our lives, you and I.
Yes.
You should go home now.
I think you're right. Cemeteries are for the dead, for they need silence too. Thank you for your honesty and your wisdom, Dr. Reed.
Thank you for your company, Xiaoshun. Take care on the way home.
Maybe I'll see you again in Whitechapel.
Xiaoshun.
Goodbye for now.
Goodbye for now.
So many new graves.
Cool. We can actually talk to Mason now. Mason's over this way.
Good evening, sir. It's me again.
Leave me alone, I say, whoever you are.
It cannot be safe for a blind man to live here alone. Let me enter, sir. I swear I mean you no harm.
Well, a voice never lies, and yours clearly is the voice of a gentleman. All right, Doctor, come on in.
I love how everyone opens the door the same way.
Pays visits to people at this late hour.
The kind of gentleman who explores and steals from your home.
It's locked, all right.
It's locked.
In this part of town at night, you're either brave or a fool.
I'm foolishly brave. Vampires feed on your soul. There it is. Dawn, not what we want. We're still 1 of 6 on our collectibles. Anyway, hello, Mason.
So what is the name of my nocturnal visitor?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. As I already explained to you, I'm inquiring about the epidemic.
Dr. Reed? The eminent surgeon? My God. I'd never have expected a brilliant physician like you to knock on my door.
You flatter me, sir.
No, sir, I am flattered. I read all your work when I still had my sight. I loved it. I'm Mason Swanborough, by the way.
Swanborough?
Have you heard anything about Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I don't know who she is.
And what else have you learned about me, Mr. Swanborough?
I know you assisted Professor Carell in France, and that you invented a new blood transfusion method based on his work.
Yes. Those were frustrating but exciting days. I loved it.
Yes, the thrill of research and discovery. This is what drives people like us, Dr. Reed. Oh, how I envy you.
Does someone take care of you in this isolated place?
My sister Loretta and I have our daily routine. Every morning and evening she comes by so we can talk and eat. Then she leaves and I stay.
Do you not appreciate your sister's visits?
Loretta is the best and worst thing that happened to me. And I believe she could say the same thing about me.
I got a kitty laying on his back again.
Where does your sister go?
Well, let's just say, she earns enough money for us both.
What's so amusing about that?
I won't hide the truth from you. Loretta sells a fake miracle elixir to the sick people of Whitechapel.
Of course she does.
Do you know Braille, Mr. Swanborough?
I'm no expert, but I learned it in my spare time, yes. Why?
I found a strange document entitled Cure for Blindness. It's written in Braille, so I thought perhaps it was yours.
Really? Is that some kind of sick joke? Let me see.
Here it is.
This letter seems authentic. And it actually refers to an experimental cure for blindness. You have piqued my interest, Dr. Reed.
Could it be of any use to you?
No. This page is just a part of a larger diary. I'd be glad if you could find the other pages.
I found another page of the diary, Mr. Swanborough.
This diary is still not complete. The man who wrote it claims he is a member of some scholarly brotherhood called the St. Paul's Stole.
Really? I've heard of them. very capable scientists. Perhaps the man who wrote this really found a cure.
I would need more pages to figure it out, but it's as promising as it is intriguing.
It's as promising
Goodbye, Mr. Swan.
as it is intriguing.
What kind of gentleman pays visits to people at this late hour?
Oh my god, there's so many of them, I forgot about that. Like, sorry, bro. I don't kiss on the first date. The only reason I hate visiting Mason is because, well, these fuckers. There's 4 or 5 you have to do every time you come here, too. Ugh. The worst.
This is no place for a gentleman.
Oh shoot, I never gave Mason his medicine. Oh well.
Good evening, Doctor. Can I help you?
Have you any news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
It appears the dispensary is now a major source of contagion in Whitechapel. Someone should do something about it, but no one cares.
Goodbye, Miss.
Game you pay for peace of mind. Distribute flowers this hour.
Oh. Holy shit, she killed us. Well, she is level 24 and we are kinda level 12.
Steady, boys! We've got one over here!
Anyway, let's try that again.
Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe?
Maybe it's time to see if this Christina... distribute flowers at this level.
stuck. Oh, she was stuck. Oh, perfect. Oh. Do you know how pissed I'd be if that actually killed me somehow?
When science fails you,
Good evening.
I'd like to...
Good evening.
Good evening.
Loretta, your miraculous formula wouldn't even cure a common cold, and you know it.
The Swanborough's cordial secret ingredient is hope, Doctor. And it's something people around here really need.
A placebo effect is real and has benefit. But in your case, you could be murdering your customers who may die because they are not receiving the necessary medical attention.
Medical attention? In Whitechapel? Trust me, my cordial is the best option they have.
My cordial is the best.
If your true purpose was to help, you wouldn't take money from the poor for your snake oil.
Oh, but to pay for it is part of the process, Doctor. If it were free, they wouldn't believe in it.
Have you any news on Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
It seems her dispensary isn't so busy nowadays. Good thing for the Swanborough cordial.
Goodbye, Miss... Good evening, Mr. Petrescu. What are you doing here?
I could ask you the exact same question, Mr. Doctor. Now leave me alone.
Tell me everything.
I do not believe in it.
Are you living on the streets, Mr. Petrescu?
And why not? Those who believe they'll be safe behind walls are blind.
What about your house?
My house is always open to any poor soul needing a roof. All my work here is lost now that Dorothea is gone, thanks to you.
Why are you so aggressive?
I remember the night you came here and convinced me to open my door to you, sir. I'd like to punch you right on your chops.
What do you plan to do now that Nurse Crane is gone?
I'm not sure. Strange men came to see me after Dorothea's death, with strange weapons and very odd stories.
What kind of stories?
Stories all Romanian children know. It was as if I was home again. Vampires, Mr. Doctor. Vampires.
You believe them? Aren't you too old to hold a weapon or listen to scary stories?
Yes, I am old and alone and will die soon, but if these stories are true, maybe I have found myself another cause.
Maybe I have found myself another cause.
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
Yeah, Mr. Petrescu hates us. Because, well, we destroyed everything he was working for.
Death is all around us.
Oops. So we want to go...
This city is doomed.
This way.
Leech spotted! Watch out! Stay back, beast! Die, vermin! Over there! There's one of them vermin! It's a leech! Kill it!
Cool. So yeah, we got Dorothea killed because, well, that's what we do. Apparently there's no peaceful way to actually, like, save her and everything. Kind of unfortunate. The game just doesn't give you an option to do that. No peaceful way, that is.
Best be moving on. Look lively! It's on to us!
"29 Pretty Orchard Street. This is it. What's in there for me? There's been a fight here.
You're gonna find this next part intriguing, emotive.
This window was shattered with violent force. Someone's been pulled through it and dragged through the street. Who could have done that? Where does this blood trail lead?
Go back home, idiots! Crush!
Expire and be found here.
You're surprising. Occasionally, you make a good point.
What's that?
We're being misled. Or worse, we're being baited by leeches playing a nasty game. It's a leech! Kill it! Freewood shall prevail! Away with you!
But to answer your question, yes. Oh. You will only like this next part. Absolutely. Could we seriously have gotten over here super easily? God damn it, game. Oh well.
The marks on this woman's neck were made by the fangs of a vampire. Only a golden watch in her pockets.
Only a golden watch.
This is the very flower my mother tossed on Mary's coffin. Someone is targeting my family. Her shoes and clothes are quite worn out.
I see you.
Right then. It's a sick game. But given no choice in the matter, I might as well. I cannot enter.
What happens the following night? If you ever live near the docks of East End, you must know who Sean Patrick Hampton is, and if not, you might have heard of him. His name is starting to spread through the entire capital, and the song it sings is one of hope. Sean is the humble founder of the Hampton Asylum, an establishment that he built with his own hands and convictions. The building, an abandoned warehouse gracefully donated by the Dawson family, then renovated and transformed into what is now the most famous asylum in London. The poor and hungry are welcome under his roof, and with them he shares his food, his care, and his prayers. Sean Hampton came from a background of misery, but the hardships of life didn't disfigure or maim his profound trust in the Lord. If anything, the faithful man gained an acute empathy in exchange for the torments of poverty. His love of others is renowned throughout the docks. Rare are those who didn't witness Sean cry at the sight of an infirm veteran, an orphan child, or a sick mother. That's how he gained his nickname, the Sad Saint of the East End. Sean Hampton is so respected that people still stay in his shelter, even after the Sad Saint contracted a mysterious disease which forces him to rest a lot, take his meals away from his flock, while in some other parts of London people step back as soon as someone coughs in public. Men and women accept to eat and sleep in the Hampton Asylum. It's the safest place in the East End docks. The building looks dirty. The stench around the place is awful for a delicate soul, but there is hope and love there. The death toll has been low and stable for days. 100%. 100%. I mean, she's still dead. But we can stabilize it if we can cure these two. And we got nothing here yet. And now we're level 17.
Surprising. Occasionally, you make a good point. We're being misled. Or worse, we're being baited by...
It's one of them! The power of the Lord!
As you see, we have an ultimate ability.
We cannot be defeated! Christ, he's dead! Watch out! It's fast!
We can only use it every 99 seconds though. So we're gonna just stand here and look at Pembroke Hospital. Okay, we've done.
Jonathan.
What was that? I won't let you escape.
Jonathan.
You're very fast, but I'll catch you. They've all been butchered.
You! What have you done?
Vicar Larrabee, what happened?
Demon! Hell Scourge! Son of perdition!
Vicar! Jonathan's no demon. He's just a soul. Returned from the dead. Like your Christ, Vicar.
Mary, is it really you?
Oh, it's me, all right. Precious brother.
What is Mother doing here?
I'm gathering the family for a final reunion. All smiling, all dead. Thanks to the good Dr. Reed.
Mary.
Mother, say hello to your son.
Hello, Jonathan.
Mother,
What do we have here, Mother? The prodigal son has lost his tongue. Our Jonathan always had the first and last word at dinner. The entertainer, the star of our show.
I'm sorry. Let me explain.
Shut up. It's my turn to do the talking. I have this nasty hole in my chest, Johnny. It needs to breathe.
Of course. You can speak.
My prayers went so long without an answer. My husband, killed in France. My child, carried away by the flu. My brother promising to return in his letters, then disappearing in thin air. I went from hospital to hospital. Cemetery to cemetery. Grave to grave. I've lifted every stone in London, searching for an end to the nightmare. And there you were. In front of me. On a dark pier.
The hunger had taken me.
The joy to have finally found you. I longed for your arms, a final happy ending to so much tragedy, to tell me all would be well again, as you did when we were children. It was this filthy dock where you greeted your sister. I dug a tunnel from my grave with my fingers and teeth.
Mary. I thought I had murdered you. I tried to end myself. We've been through the same horror.
We are a disease, Jonathan. A sickness that corrupts all it touches. All we kiss, and all we kill. Look at me. Admire your ilk.
I'm so sorry.
Apologies will not suffice. I demand reparation. I want a miracle. Are you a miracle worker, Dr. Reed? No? I'll show you mine then. The family Reed, reunited and complete, living forever in a red sea of eternal love. Time to go, Mother. Say hello to my son for
Mary,
me.
wait. I have made friends with vital knowledge. Vampires. We are not alone, Mary. With time, we can learn to live almost as we lived before.
How long?
What?
How long will this masquerade continue? I've been watching you. All these nights in Whitechapel, pretending you're still a doctor. You believe you're just fighting a disease. But it's you, the disease. Jonathan, you!
I'm a scientist. I'll find a solution. Let our mother go, please.
You're always the one to sway me to reason, Jonathan. But before, your motivations were always pure. Now you're tainted.
Let her go! She has no part to play in this.
Very well. Have you heard our good doctor? You can go home, Mother. Go home and rest in peace.
Yes, I'll go home and rest.
It's so easy to make them obey or forget. Puppets for our pleasure. I've seen you have your fun.
You are mad.
Oh, so that's what I am, Doctor. Mad. I was beginning to wonder. I've been hearing these voices in my head. One in particular. That of my dead brother. This is the reason I must kill you. Not for your betrayal, not for our poisonous kiss, not even for the lies you tell yourself. No, it's so that smooth and wicked voice will stop ringing in my ear.
Mary. No, don't!
Time to die, brother. And this time for good. You killed me, brother!
It's Bloody Mary!
It burned away Nurse Crane's mind. You're a monster! What have you done? Give me your blood, priest. Final thoughts are just to die for. Rest in peace, monster. Assassin! Kiss me again, sweet brother. Abomination! Kinslayer! Come to me, Jonathan.
Right?
What have you done? Assassin!
This fight has gone on for almost 3 minutes at this point. It's been 2.5 minutes so far.
Rest in peace, monster.
Shit.
I'll make you kneel like a dog, just as you did to Sean Hampton! Come to me, Jonathan.
begins, brother.
Well, brother, it's time to bring this conversation to an end. Forever.
You know I will not play this game.
Calm now, Doctor. Like a rabid dog. Or think you're performing an autopsy?
Don't be ridiculous.
I'll kill them all. The kind Dr. Swansea. The sweet little lass with hair of red. I am the Harbinger, bringing your punishment.
Mary.
Don't you see? This is not me. Flesh that never ages. All nightmare, no dream. Bring it to a close. Let me sleep.
I will find a cure, Mary. I swear it.
That she does.
At last, I can forgive you.
She's watching you, chat. She's still watching you, chat. Those eyes, they follow you. You know they're staring up at you right now. Glaring at you. Ba, 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 ba. Tickle, tickle, tickle.
Blood. As I shed one last red tear for my fallen sister, I realize the entire world now revolves around this singular word.
That's a nice look. The blood on the black and white.
The Spanish flu.
I like this graphical style. Very noir.
Turning survivors into frenzied immortals. I am Dr. Jonathan Reed. I am a vampire, born anew into an age of death and pestilence. While plotting factions close in around me, I am sworn to find
That
the
is an
source of
amazing
this
shot right
epidemic.
there.
I am convinced greater perils are still to come. I know the answers I seek are hiding in our blood.
Are hiding in our blood. Dr. Reed, I hope this letter will quickly find you if I need to speak to you as soon as possible. The situation is evolving very quickly in the West End, and I'm convinced we are all now in great danger. The god of Prewin has launched a great hunt in London. For a few nights, they've been actively searching and killing any Echelon they can locate. Lord Redgrave, chairman of the Ascalon Club, recently contacted me. He wishes to meet you immediately. Please come to my mansion any night that suits you. We must discuss all of this. With this letter, you'll find an official pass that will let you go through any barricade or quarantine checkpoint throughout the city. Your friend, the Lady Ashborough. Oh wow wow. How does that make you feel? We murdered our sister. Dr. Swansea has a conversation with us. You're sick, you're sick, you're sick, you're sick. Oops. Fatigue, 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 fatigue. 7 fatigues. Y'all are fine. 9, 10. I need 10 fucking fatigue potions. Jesus motherfucking Christ, y'all. Y'all need to get some goddamn naps. Y'all motherfuckers need to take a nap. We're looking for shinies, Kevin Lee. He's over there. Well, let's look for shinies while we have the opportunity first. No shinies.
Jonathan, old chap, how are you tonight? I've seen little of you of late.
I was conducting research in my room, away from the nightly routines.
Of course, of course. Worry not, I understand. The situation has been testy around here. I won't deny it, but we still stand.
What news do you bring?
The news is not good, my friend. We try to keep the epidemic at bay, but street violence is escalating quickly.
Street violence?
How bad is the epidemic?
It is killing the infected patients faster. In less than 2 days now. The only blessing is that they are contagious for a shorter period.
Tell me more about the violence.
Jeffrey McCallum seems to have sent his war dogs on a hunt. On a nightly basis, Priwen patrols exterminate every skull and vampire they find.
Have they come closer to the hospital?
No. They mainly focus on fallen districts or abandoned buildings. But they're growing in numbers. They must be recruiting heavily.
Have you any reliable friends in the West End who might assist me?
Unfortunately, you will be alone. Except for our ravishing red-headed acquaintance, of course.
Rawr.
What about the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stone? Where are they?
There are only a few of us, and most others would not speak to you. I am the black sheep of our brotherly flock, you know.
I am the black sheep.
What of my commission here at Pembroke Hospital?
Nothing to fear, Jonathan. Your position here is in no jeopardy. You remain one of us, and you are always most welcome.
I have received an alarming letter from Lady Ashbury. She wants me to meet her at her house. I have been granted safe passage.
Then you are twice fortunate. I have never been invited to the lady's mansion. But with the quarantine and controls, city access is nigh impossible.
Is the quarantine serving any purpose?
It is helping slow the propagation of the epidemic. But as long as we have no clue to its origin, its efficiency is limited.
Why have you never entered the lady's house? You are one of her good friends, are you not?
My dear Jonathan, you have no idea how reclusive the good lady normally is. Nor in what great esteem she must hold you to let you into her domain.
Thank you, Edgar.
Edgar. What an old man's name. Speaking of old man's name, according to namologists, you know, the name I just randomly gave people who study the etymology of names, they have decreed that the name Karen will go extinct within the next 10 years. In terms of babies. No baby will be named Karen. Fun fact.
It's a
suffering continues.
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Soldier, do you need assistance?
Not really. I think I caught something in this bloody hospital. I swear I'm dead, yet smiling inside, Dr. Reed.
Oh, I swear I'm dead.
As long as you remain here, I will make sure you don't have to worry about your health.
Don't think you can do much about it. Damage is done.
Damage is done, Doctor.
Why do you feel responsible for the injury, Thomas? What really happened?
I wasn't disfigured by any German shells. It happened during my leave. It was an accident.
Why lie about it?
Come on. It's one thing to come back disfigured by the Germans, and it's another to get injured in an accident that could have happened to anybody.
You know you can't hide forever. One day you'll have to face your loved ones. Until that day, you have no chance of real recovery.
My friends all died in the trenches. It's shameful enough to be alive with these stupid scars. I don't want my children to see me like this.
Tell me what really happened then.
I went with a whore in Rouen. Dead drunk I was. The hotel was a shithole. There was a fire that night.
Did you start the fire? Were you trying to avoid going back to the front? That's not uncommon, you know.
No. It's just that I was asleep when the flames reached the room. The girl was long gone. Bitch never woke me up. Left me to burn.
Left me to burn.
You told me before you don't want your children to see you like this. Do you have any other family?
My sister Agatha has raised me nippers since their mother died. Don't want them to look at me like this.
How could children despise their father injured in the war?
What do you think? They saw me. Once. Like poor angels left the room crying. They keep on having nightmares every week, my sister told me.
Your sister's not a child. I'm sure she has nothing but respect for a wounded soldier, and you are her brother.
You don't know my sister Agatha. She may be young, but she's all discipline and morality. If she ever found out what really happened...
She doesn't have to know.
She's a sly one, my sister. One day she'll find out the truth and knock 7 bells out of me. Nah. I'm better off here.
Oh, I'm better off here.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Here in the skull on every street corner.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Do you need my assistance?
Don't be ridiculous. I'm capable of dealing with this myself. I've just not taken the time to do so.
Then you are lucky that I have taken the time to do so. Consider it a gesture of solidarity between professionals.
I wish this hospital could have received as much attention from you, Dr. Reed. We do not see you in surgery very often.
Thank you for your...
I love how we help him out and he just, you know, finds a way to bitch about it. Then again, he doesn't like us, so...
I will not let you down.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Do you require medical attention as well, Mrs. Goswick?
Do you know you're the only one who's asked me this? No. I don't feel well, actually.
Despite what you think about this place, I can tell you with absolute certainty, taking this will help you recover.
Well, at least your reputation seems well deserved. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for this hospital.
God,
Goodbye,
she's so bitchy.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any news about my operation?
Is there anything else that's bothering you? Can I help in any way?
Really? Why has no one else asked me that since I got here? I thought I was in a hospital.
Unfortunately, you are not the only person who needs help. And complaining about it won't do you any good.
Well, perhaps you're right, Dr. Reed. I'm sure if me missus was still alive, she wouldn't be happy with me going on like this.
Goodbye for...
Okay. We have...
As for me...
One...
Good evening, Doctor. Please, of course.
Tomorrow.
Good evening. Do you need the proximity of the... Don't...
We're just gonna speed this up.
Goodbye.
Tomorrow, more bodies will arrive, and then...
Good evening, Milt.
Good evening, Doc. Wise choice.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Do you need
I'm afraid I do.
Oh,
That's easy.
Good.
There you go.
Good evening, Nurse.
Good evening.
Do you require...
I will be fine.
Nurse.
I'll try, Doctor.
Goodbye.
I'll try. Goodbye. Okay. So, we took care of all that. Now, the fastest way to get to Whitechapel is probably actually just yeet down the street. Okay, we take care of everybody here. Now I gotta find you. And return to you. Alright, time to yeet yeet down the street. I said yeet yeet down the street. I said yeet yeet down the street. I said yeet yeet down the street. Da 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 da. Here we're gonna go. Alright, let's fully get this ready. Steady.
Watch yourselves! There's one of them!
All I did was run, and then they said I was a vampire. Okay.
It's locked.
Are you fucking kidding? Fun. Could have just run this way. I don't even have to fight those fuckers. Anyway.
When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again.
Let's talk to Hixia Shun. I don't think there's anything else to talk to her about.
How, Dr. Reed?
How is the sanitary situation evolving in Whitechapel these days?
My only relief is that my Matthew died before seeing the madness that approaches. I'm afraid we won't survive this trial, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye.
I want to see if she would add anything to anything, and she did not. I do feel bad that Dorothea had to die. Still more scowls in there? Jesus. But Dorothea is still dead. Dorothea is still Dorothea. I'm a clever bastard, I know. That's a nice round number.
How long are we?
Fancy bar. You never. Right then. You never? Do you need... To be honest, I don't really. Goodbye. You again? Can I off-keep you? There's a... All right. Goodbye. Good evening.
It's for...
Don't you...
Faith gives me...
No doubt you're...
Last week.
I have... Hello again, miss. Tell me, Camellia, how are things now the dispensary is closed?
Riveting conversation.
You don't seem to need. Very well.
Angel made flesh, I tell you.
Good evening, Mr.
And good evening to...
Do you need... I understand.
The nutrition of my...
Ugh, I forgot. Once you hit a certain level, they show up.
You're mine, vermin! This is now my domain, young echo.
No. Cool. Those two can fight each other.
Good evening, Mr. Swanborough.
Is it you, Dr. Reed?
Thank you.
How do you see the world these days?
I love how you
What
can
can
just
I
hear
do?
them fighting each other outside.
You seem unwell.
Actually,
Yes.
Thank you, Doctor.
Goodbye.
Wandering in this part of town at night, you're either brave or...
Nah, let's go the other way. Did you enjoy how I handled that? Just lead two idiots together and, you know, they'll take care of themselves. I can somehow get to there, so... Okay. So I'm trying to figure out a shortcut for later. So now we have to fight actual vampires. Blood Econs, Shadow Econs. New enemies to fight because we hit a high enough level. Ugh, it's the worst, yo. Okay, we're gonna go... Of course! They use more powerful black magics. She's a black magic woman.
This is no place for it. Over there! There's one of them vermin! I'll send you back to the bloody grind! Stupid beast!
Look at that. Dodging without looking. Fucking beast right here. Cause she's a black magic woman. Whoops. Hey, duck. Hello, boys. It's our favorite gay boys.
You must prepare, child, for the earth is bleeding and the harvest is upon us.
Stay away, whoever you are.
This is no time for petty quarrels, my champion. Can you not hear? The famished queen has awoken.
The famished queen has awoken.
I am not your champion.
But of course you are, son. As surely as you are the blood of my blood.
I had to kill Mary.
I have known your pain, child. Do not succumb to...
Silence! I dismiss you, now!
The land calls for a champion. All and everyone needs you.
Silence!
That's a lie, Panda. You don't talk for like the first hour after you've woken up.
These puppet shows.
war. I'll show them war.
Whatever this poor woman did, nobody deserves this kind of punishment.
All of you bloody leeches need killing. You'll pay for that! Killing's all you get.
Gonna miss some stuffs. We're at the Lady Ashbury's. I guess I'll try to buy some time. Not a whole lot.
Stay away! Stop right now!
Oh, that's a trash can. That's a trash can! Fuck my fuck. Well, I was buying time since you had walked away. And I died.
This is despicable. So this is where she lives. What a splendid house.
What a splendid house.
I got your toesies.
Knock, knock, knock.
Dr. Reed, welcome. How are you?
As good as one can be, considering the circumstances.
Yes. Death and affliction seem prevailing themes of late. Please, come in. We have much to discuss.
I hope I haven't disturbed you.
Congratulations, everybody, by the way.
Actually,
we just hit
12,000
views on the Twitch channel.
This painting. Beautiful, melancholic, yet with a haunting dignity.
Indeed. A long time ago, a friend asked me to paint this for him. But I kept it in the end.
I did not know you were a painter, my lady.
There are many things you do not know about me, young Ekon.
Young Ekon.
Please, call me Jonathan.
Please excuse my behavior, Jonathan. I tend to tease my friends when uneasy.
What is bothering you, my lady? Your letter was quite alarming.
We will talk about this in a few minutes. For now, I would like you to tell me about yourself. How have you been since we
I
last
tickled
met,
some
my
toe
friend?
beans, and he was not very happy with me.
My sister Mary. She was made a vampire in the same way I was. She was the one killing all those people everywhere I went.
Vengeance is a powerful force for those betrayed. Made vampire through careless error. Victims by surprise.
I swear I did not intend that. If only I had known then how vampires are created.
That is the scientist speaking. In truth, most of us do not know how it really works. Personally, I make sure my prey will not return to haunt me.
What do you mean?
I am merciless, Jonathan. I only feed on the dying, and I make sure they are dead before leaving their remains.
In the end, she implored me to put an end to her misery. But still, I felt I had taken her life twice.
I am so sorry for my accidental cruelty. Had I known your dear Mary was still alive, I would never have sent you to pray for her soul in that church.
There is no need to apologize, my lady. Your words have been most helpful in these difficult times.
Thank you, my friend. If only we could have guided your poor sister through her terrible nightmare.
I came to the conclusion that my maker, whoever he might be, must be a powerful vampire. Certainly extremely old.
How have you reached this conclusion?
He is the only immortal I've seen appear in an ethereal form. His voice, his words seemed ancient. It was disturbing.
I am afraid you are right. The simple fact that your blood made Mary such a strong Ekon proves that you must be of ancient lineage.
I love how just the fact of who your maker is creates your lineage.
I felt this power radiating like an aura every time he appeared.
Most ancestral vampires of England were killed by the Guard of Prewen half a century ago. I wonder who your maker could be.
You have no idea who he could be?
Some of the ancient ones fled England. Some may still be in hiding. All I know is you, my friend, are a pawn in some secret and obscure game of chess.
A game of chess.
I think I should ask the questions, your ladyship. After all, it was you who invited me to settle this most urgent of matters.
Fair enough, Jonathan. The situation is critical. We do not have the luxury for etiquette.
Please do not misunderstand me. I would be delighted to discuss mundane matters and idle trivialities.
If we survive the dark nights to come, We shall have all the time in the world to speak, you and I. For now, please follow me, Jonathan.
For now, please follow me, Jonathan.
I must say, your house is exquisite.
One of the advantages of living forever is having the time to be selective with one's furnishings.
Huh.
I took the liberty of having tea served.
You can still drink tea.
Can't keep it down, but I do so enjoy the aroma. Let us toast to make-believe. And of course, to your health, Jonathan.
And to yours.
It's like you make coffee, even though if you can't drink it, just to smell it.
Please, call me Elizabeth.
So, my lady, why truly did you invite me here?
I've been asked to deliver an official invitation to meet the Ascalon Club.
Who are they?
Elizabeth
They
Ashbury.
are the embodiment of vampire law in Britain. Some say they influence the destiny of the Empire. Some believe they merely protect it.
How many are they?
Only a small number of powerful and deceitful immortals. All of them entangled in a sticky web of shadow cabinets, influencing trade.
Will they fight the guard of Prewin?
I doubt it. Fergal was Lord Redgrave's executioner forever and a day. By defeating that beast, you deprived them of a powerful weapon.
Why use you to contact me?
Because they know we are close. The Ascalon Club has many spies. Their main occupation is gathering information, and then deciding how to use it.
Have they threatened you in any way?
Not at all. Their message surprised me at first. But it is only logical, considering the critical situation in London.
Why not ask for your help? Since you are obviously a powerful and influential immortal yourself.
You have to understand that I am invisible to the eyes of Ascalon, for I am a woman.
For I
Suits me well.
am a woman.
As long as they leave me alone.
Should I trust them?
Of course not. Do not misunderstand me. They can be very useful, but I believe their long-term goals differ from yours.
Why meet them then?
Because nothing truly important can be achieved in this city without their consent. They could be powerful allies in this current
I too
situation.
love the smell of coffee.
Should I lie to them?
We all lie, Jonathan. It falls to you to choose your behavior. The most important rule is to show them due respect.
They have done nothing but impede my investigations since I became known to them. Why would they want to see me now?
I guess they now see you as Ascalon material. They must have found out what happened to your sister. Proof of the potent blood flowing through your veins.
I'm not sure I can accept their invitation. I have seen their handiwork. How Fergal the Beast imposed the club's law.
You have no choice, Jonathan. Even I would not openly defy Lord Redgrave, the chairman of the Ascalon Club.
What can you tell me about Lord Redgrave? Who is he?
Lord Redgrave is the founder and chairman of the Ascalon Club. Most mortals know him as the Earl of Bristol. He is rich and extremely influential.
Have you met him?
Only on rare occasions, for he never goes outside the club. And women are not awarded membership, even immortals.
Women?
How old is he? How long has he been a vampire?
Lord Redgrave claims to be the progeny of William Marshall, the most valiant knight who ever lived. If that is true, he could be very old.
How powerful is his reach?
The Ascalon Club may be the most influential secret society in England. Not all its members are immortals, but they are all very powerful.
They are not all immortals. How is that?
The club is mainly comprised of political figures who seek the safety and expansion of the Empire. The most loyal are awarded immortality.
Any familiar or famous names?
As the richest, most relentless British tycoon, Aloysius Dawson is considered ideal Ascalon material and has been watched for years.
If you are convinced I must meet him, I will heed your advice.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Oh, my back.
I understand your reluctance to brush shoulders with London's vampire elite. But we have no choice.
Is the situation that critical?
Yes. The Guard of Prewen has called for a second great hunt of our kind. And they will stop at nothing to eliminate us.
Will the Guard of Prewen and the Ascalon Club fight each other?
I doubt it. If Prewen really launched a great hunt, I think most of the Ekons I know would flee the country to escape the bloodbath.
I think I saw them kill an Ekon on the way to your house. They seem to have a list with names.
To launch another great hunt, they must have collected intelligence on vampire identities and whereabouts. They are a resourceful lot.
Should we fight back? I will not be hunted down like an animal again.
I admire your courage, Jonathan. But the best way to fight them is to put an end to the epidemic. This is the only way to clear the air.
What is a great hunt?
The first great hunt was launched about 75 years ago. In just a few nights, the Guard of Prewen located and destroyed most of the old British vampires.
Why start a second one?
Prewen has always seen us immortals as a threat to mankind. My guess is they suspect one or more of us as the cause of the epidemic.
How did you survive the first hunt?
I fled, Jonathan. Like most vampires who survived that slaughter. And I secretly came back when I was sure they had lost my trail.
You should flee then. Leave London, the country even. I have seen the Guard in action. They are merciless.
Your concern warms my heart, Jonathan. But fear not. If the situation gets too dangerous, I shall retreat to my secret Scottish manor. I could hide you in my luggage, if you wish.
Thank you for the offer. I shall keep it in mind, but I have much to do here.
Do you think she will survive the second great
I must
hunt?
ask you. Could Lord Redgrave be my maker?
I doubt it. If Lord Redgrave had made you his progeny, he would not have seemed so surprised when you demonstrated the strength of your lineage.
What is the plan?
The plan is we both try to save this city, you and I. Go to Ascalon, accept their proposition, and use their influence to promote your agenda.
How can I save London?
The epidemic is the priority. You must find its origin and put an end to it. This is the best way to solve the crisis.
What will you do?
I still have contacts and old friends in this town. I shall make some inquiries and attempt to learn more of the situation. We need clarity.
Will I ever discover the identity of my maker?
Maybe not, Jonathan. We know for sure you were made by a powerful vampire, but most of those fled England long ago.
Please forgive my bluntness, but I have to ask. Was it you? Did you make me?
Oh, Jonathan. I know you shall always have a gnawing doubt about who made you an immortal, but I swear I had nothing to do with it.
I swear I had nothing to do with it.
You seem to know so many things about the secrets of the vampire underworld.
Even if I had my suspicions, I would not dare give you a name so soon. All I can say is this. I will make inquiries and keep you informed.
One day soon, I will have to find the answer to this mystery.
And I shall help you in your research, I promise. For now, you must go to the Ascalon Club and play their game.
Will I see you again at the Pembroke Hospital?
No, you will find me here if you need me. I shall conduct inquiries alone, and we can then share our discoveries.
Will you not visit Pembroke again?
No. I must remain discreet and avoid attracting attention to Pembroke Hospital for the time being.
But how will you sustain yourself?
I shall not, Jonathan. Fear not. I'm used to it.
When will we meet again?
As soon as you meet Lord Redgrave, I suppose. Fear not, my dear. I shall only be a heart's beat away.
I want to thank you for all your support and your help, my lady.
Could you do me a last great favor and call me Elizabeth?
I should be honored, my lady.
Then it is settled.
As he calls her my lady again.
Dark hours.
Thank you. I appreciate the advice.
I love the way that they lean in so close
myself to meet this
with the camera right behind. You just keep thinking that they're gonna kiss each time.
In the flesh, so to speak.
Something tells me you're not very keen on the man.
Don't get me wrong. The gentlemen of the Ascalon Club are honorable, but their attitude and opinions are somewhat antiquated.
I see.
As long as they deny access to female applicants, I will leave them to their antediluvian considerations as to the natural order of things. Jonathan, promise me you'll be careful.
Of course. But why the fear in your voice?
Look at me, Jonathan.
I am.
I mean, really look at me, young Ekon. We may be deceptive by nature, but this heart of mine has always told the truth.
Elizabeth.
Go, my friend. But come back to me soon.
My friend. Jonathan got friend-zoned. My friend. That's not a very attractive, like, dress blouse thing that she's wearing. You know? Feels bad, man.
So, time to visit the Ascalon Club.
The Shadow Cabinet.
It's locked, all right.
Of course, of course, of course.
He's dead! Shit! You paid for that!
I wish we had some way of actually getting, like, defense, but we don't.
Easy does it, boys. Freeman shall prevail. We have a killer.
See them fancy
Problem was, I saw a bunch of shinies and I was just like, I gotta have them. Hello? Hello? Wait. That's not where I want to go. I can't go that way. Oh, it says the lady has more conversations for us, so let's go visit the lady.
I got your toesies.
Lucius is not happy with me, I'll tell you that. We can raid the good lady's star. Charlotte Ashbury. The good lady's got a daughter. God blimey. Dracula.
It's locked.
It's locked. I sold the shiny. She's painting Picasso.
Hello again, Jonathan. To what do I owe the pleasure of your visit?
Sorry to disturb you again, but could you spare me a few minutes?
Did I
Of
scare
course,
you?
my dear. Always a pleasure
I'm
to
sorry.
speak with you.
Concerning your investigation,
Yes?
are you
I
truly
hurt my
seeking
back.
to identify my maker?
I cannot promise you anything, but yes. I am conducting some research of my own.
Do you think we shall ever see better days? Or at least, better nights?
I know not, Jonathan. I have seen some horrid days in my long lifetime. Experience has taught me that one cannot outrun the fates.
When all of this is over, the war and the epidemic, we could leave the city for a while.
I scared
Travel
the
around
crap
Europe,
out of Lucius.
you and I.
Traveling is always so complicated
sorry,
for
baby.
us poor creatures of the night. But yes, I would be glad to travel the world with you,
No,
my dear.
you just want to lay there? Okay.
Will you tell me your story one day, Lady Ashbury?
One of them, perhaps. I have had so many lives, Jonathan. Eternity may not be enough to relate them all.
Do you know if the epidemic has affected many people in the West End?
I confess I've been more concerned by events in the East End. The wealthy have more efficient ways of dealing with infection.
But this is no common epidemic.
That is true. I must tell my daughter to stay at home for a few days. But the girl is stubborn and fiercely independent. Much like her mother.
Much like her mother. Lucius has to make sure I'm okay, so he's just like, I can't go sleep again. He could sneeze and die. Actually, maybe that is the way to go. Wait, what's over here?
It's locked.
we'll try up there. Don't remember the correct way to get into the West End. Hence the reason we're having so much trouble.
When science fails you.
Shut up, Loretto. Yeah. That's funny.
It's locked, all right.
Alright, we can't go here. We can't go from here. Can't go from here. And I guess we have to go here. Alright. Well, we have to go over there. Might as well go talk to our good old friend, the doctor. I was just like, wait, what's this place? Darius. He quite literally trashed his place.
It's locked, all right.
Fastest shot will be to go straight down there. So we go this way. So I go left.
Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
Then hook a right here. No. There we go. This is our straight shot. Pay me a glass and I'll be gentle. Pay me a bottle and I'll be nice to you.
Look lively! It's on to us!
Yeah, I would too. I mean, did I say that out loud? I tease. Sometimes.
Hello, Jonathan. Back from the city already? How is the situation over there?
Tense, to say the least.
I'm sure every obstacle will cede to your relentless determination. In the meantime, can I be of any help?
What can you tell me about Lord Redgrave?
Oh, the legendary founder of the Ascalon Club. I'm afraid I cannot help you with that, Jonathan.
So you do know him?
All the Brotherhood knows about him is highly confidential. He is dangerously intimate with the royal family and Britain's inner circles.
Are you afraid of him? Is he that dangerous?
No, but since most ancient vampires were killed or fled England during the Great Hunt of 1850, he may be the oldest British vampire. A myth in the flesh, so to speak.
What can you tell me about the Great Hunt?
A sad story, my dear friend. Tragic, in fact. The Brotherhood was betrayed by some of its most trusted members.
Why was it a tragedy?
Not only did the Guard of Priwen hunt down and kill most ancient vampires of England, they also destroyed or confiscated their possessions. Priceless knowledge was lost in just a few nights.
Tell me about the betrayal.
The founders of the Guard of Priwen stole precious and unique documents and reports from the Brotherhood's library when they left. They used them to identify and locate their next targets.
Did you know that Lady Ashbury is an artist? And rather a good one?
Well, actually, yes. I attended an exhibition of her paintings before the war. Beautiful landscapes and stunning portraits. I wish I had purchased one.
Perhaps we could go to her next exhibition, you and I.
What a beautiful idea, Jonathan. Did you know she told me once she had been a model for famous painters? But she never told me which ones.
But you never told me which one.
I shall return later. Thank you, Edgar.
Now you'll have to go back and see and question why some models look similar to others. Why, could it be the same model for different centuries? Because you have vampiric models. Actually, hold on.
Good evening, Mil.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'd like...
Good evening, Wise Joy. Good evening. I think I'm gonna call it here. I did start an hour earlier than normal. And I'm kind of hot and restless. And I think I can only take this game about 3 hours at a time. Apologies for the early start and the early end, but we still got our 3 hours in, like usual. But stay tuned. I might start Dead by Daylight a little early, though. You won't know until I get started, but thank you everybody for watching. Hope you all enjoy. And until the next time, everybody, stay funky people.